Their wrist should be in neutral, meaning not radially or only deviated, should be about neutral. And we're going to start the person with their metacarpal phalangeal joints extended and their fingers curled. Okay? So starting from that position, what I want you to do is try to straighten out your fingers as best you can, like you're trying to point to the ceiling without moving your wrist. Okay? Good.
Brilliant.
If she can do that, then that is at least a 3. To go into 4 or 5, you're going to individually test each finger just by trying to extend the MCPs again, okay? And seeing, even though I'm just extending down here, you don't want to see the fingers curling, okay? They have to maintain that straight position. We call that the tabletop position, because if we have 2 of them, right, you make like a tabletop. They have to maintain that tabletop position. So even though I'm just extending at the IP, I want to see how much do her fingers curl. Okay, they shouldn't curl and buckle all the way over, and they should definitely not, her MCP should not give out. Test each finger individually, because even you can see in your book how the muscle sizes are very different, especially in the mid hand, they're much larger. At the pinky, it's much smaller, so I'm probably not going to use as much resistance at the pinky. Then as I go in towards the center, I could probably get away with a little bit more, okay?
So when you were saying, when you test, like just say the pinky, look at the other fingers too to make sure they don't?
Well, you're going to look at, if you're testing the pinky one, you're going to look at the pinky and see what that one's doing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you got to test each one individually. But you want to see what the interphalangeal and the IP joints are doing, because you know she shouldn't like collapse out, or she shouldn't be trying to use another muscle. Okay, if she flexes, if I start to resist and she immediately flexes that all the way down, she's using a very different muscle now than the lumbrical muscles. Okay, so you need to watch that while you're resisting. Can they pretty much maintain that position, that tabletop position of their hands? Okay. For the 0, 1, or 2, we're simply going to put the person's wrist on their side. So we're going to put their forearm in a neutral position. Once again, we're going to start with the fingers curled, but the metacarpal phalangeal joints extended. So she's going to start like this position. And what I need you to do is, you're starting out like this. I need you to make your hand look like that. Can you try to do that? Good.
Wow.
0, 1, 2. Okay?
Where'd it go?
A 2, they can get through full range. A 0, no movement, no palpation. 1, you can palpate it. Your book goes on to say, unless the hand is very atrophied, it's very difficult to sometimes get into those deeper muscles to palpate them. That if you see a minimal amount of movement, that could be enough to call it a 1. In this, unless the hand's very atrophied, if they have a lot of atrophy going on in their hand, then you might be able to palpate them. So, but again, the idea is that you know this is the gravity minimized position for that muscle group, and the ability to do both of those. Okay? All right. I'm going to give all of you 2 or 3